I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover, and I'm taking it to the house. Yes, don't adjust your TV set or your telephone or whatever platform you're watching the show on. I am solo. And don't tell nobody. I got the keys to the car. Let's go on a 30-minute ride. Let's just go for a joyride. I love talking sports. That brings me joy. If you're watching this show, you're a fan, we want to talk sports with you. This past week, we had the college football playoffs, national championship. So my opening burn is just that: go Georgia Dogs. I didn't see that coming. I thought Nick Saban and Alabama, I thought the tide was going to roll. And they had every opportunities, but you can't win with field goals. Georgia seemingly hit a switch. They stayed in the game, made it competitive, and then hit a switch in that fourth quarter and just turned it on. I thought Georgia just played better anyways. I thought they had the superior athletes. I just thought their play calling was better, execution was better. But the first, 3 quarters, it was really not there, non-existent. So in the end, it's about who wins the game. And congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. Also this past week, the NFL put a bow on their season, and now we're going into the playoffs. What a great time of year. We got some nice games coming up. We got the Steelers against the Chiefs, Rams against the Cardinals. We got the Bengals against Oakland. Who else we got? We got, bear with me here, Patriots against the Bills, and we got the Eagles against the Bucks. It's a pick'em bonanza. For me, I'm going with the home teams for each of those games. I am. But I can see some upsets, okay? But let's start off by saying this. If you had to pick one game to watch, what game would that be? I'm more interested in the Cowboys and the 49ers. I think the Cowboys got a tough draw. I think Superman, this could be your kryptonite. The 49ers are your kryptonite. You got Debo, you got Kittle, Garoppolo, which Garoppolo is going to show up. So I don't think the Cowboys have it as easy as some would say. So in my analysis of the game, I think the better coach is on the 49ers side. Quarterback play, Dak has had a prolific passing season, but Garoppolo can match him when it counts, especially in the last 2 minutes. So if it comes down to the last 2 minutes and the game is close, I'll give that to the 49ers. But for the record, I am picking the Cowboys. The better running game, it's probably the 49ers. The better passing game, I'll give that to the Cowboys. The better defense, Cowboys. Probably special teams go to the Cowboys as well. But the Cowboys, McCarthy at the helm bothers me, okay? He just bothers me. And then Dak, being as inconsistent as he has been, when your team needed you, you didn't show up. I'm talking about when you don't have your full complement of players, you need to be that guy, that separator, that difference maker. You weren't that guy. Right now with the playoffs, when the lights shine brighter, Dak you need to show up. So that would be the one game. However, it's not as easy of a pick based on my analysis and based on performance of the past year. And who knows who's going to show up. I don't know how COVID is going to affect the teams or the protocols or who's going to be available. But I think in the end, in spite of the coach for the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas should pull that off. And the 49ers, their record they are better than the record. That's what I want to say. They are better than the record. So are they lucky to be in? No, you've earned it. I know they wish they were better, had a better record, but just get to the dances, and they're in the dance. Then you got the Rams against the Cardinals. They split the series 1-1 this year. Kyler Murray without his leading weapon at the receiver, so he's really going to have to make up for that. Their defenses are probably equally good. The difference is the quarterback play. Matthew Stafford, you're throwing more interceptions than to me in the last 2 or 3 weeks than you are receptions. And I don't know that as a fact. I haven't looked at your stats, but coming from the Lions organization to the Rams organization, you were brought in for this time of year, and now you got to prove yourself. You were brought in. They've been to the playoffs. The Rams have been to the playoffs before. They went to the Super Bowl, as a matter of fact. But seemingly they were needing an upgrade, and you were that dude. Now you have to prove it. I expect the Bengals to mollywop the Raiders, but I want to say Derek Carr, with all the distractions that you guys have had with the Oakland losing Gruden and who was it, Suggs, with the tragic accident of intoxication manslaughter, I believe it's what it was. You guys still maintained and kept it together. So I salute you for getting this far, getting in, and then you got to go on the road to the Bengals. And so, wow, tough draw for you. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, that receiver core, Joe Mixon at the running back. The defense is good enough. I think their major weakness is the offensive line, but Joe Burrow gets rid of the ball quick enough that it's not a factor. Let's just, all things being even, I expect the Bengals to win that game. Eagles on the road to the Buccaneers. What have the Buccaneers done for you lately? Well, they are the reigning champs. They still have Tom Brady. I think he had one of his best years statistically, but the team is suspect on defense. Their defense is not the same defense that they had last year. And then we had Antonio Brown mess. You had major injuries, and so some of their players should be coming back, but I don't believe the Eagles can overcome just the talent that they have, and that is existing. And so I still pick the Bucs to win that game. The last Steelers. Steelers against the Chiefs. That is actually a pretty good game. We already know the quarterback play, Mahomes versus Roethlisberger, and Mahomes to me is the superior quarterback. But Ben reminds me of that old gunfighter you just didn't want to mess with. He was fast enough. He was smart enough. He was guile. Fast enough, and we're not talking about his foot speed right now because he has none. He's really a statue back there, and he is their problem. So what's good, he can win it for them. What's good, what's terrible and bad is he's probably going to lose it for them because he's not as mobile enough. But they have the defense. Najee Harris, I hear, is questionable, but they have the running. We know the coaching for your boy up there looking like Omar Epps. We know the coach up there is all that. I love me some Tomlinson. So, but the Chiefs, so many weapons on offense. Their line is suspect. I believe the defense can be run on, but I just talked about Najee Harris being questionable. Closer game. I still pick the Chiefs, but the closer game than most would expect. But if Mahomes gets time, buy time, I don't care who the Chiefs have. They can have the steel curtain over there. Mahomes will find the cheetah. He'll find Kelsey. They'll get enough run play. Pringle now is showing up as a receiver. So that's my pick. I pick KC. So as my rundown, Raiders over Bengals. Bengals. Last one I didn't pick was the Bills and Patriots. And so I'm Bills. I'm picking the Bills. That's, again, another home team. I also picked the Bucks. Cowboys over the 49ers. Kansas City over the Steelers. And I'm picking the Rams over the Cardinals if I didn't make that declaration earlier. I'm saying the Rams are that good. What say you? I put it out on our Facebook page. I asked the question, and now I want you to be bold enough to put it out there. Answer the questions. Pick your team this week. I know we have some more playoffs coming on next week. We'll ask the question again. We'll be back again. We'll talk about what team you choose. Is your team still in, or are they out? How are you feeling right now, whether they're in or out? Talk to us. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. I want to transition now to the NBA. Last week's show, we talked about the marvel of medicine. We talked about rehabilitation, our specialists, and that's what I do. I'm a physical therapist, a doctor in physical therapy. And so when I see tragedy, whether it's in the form of, like Tiger Woods, a car wreck, rollover, possible loss of life or limb, and then he comes back and is rehabilitated, that excites me. That turns me on. Klay Thompson. I'm talking about Klay Thompson now. We're talking about an Achilles tendon tear. We're talking about an ACL. We're talking about hasn't played in 2 seasons. He came back, and I had to watch him play. Of course, everybody's cautious. Everybody's with a bated breath. If he turns, can he explode? Asking the questions: is he the old Klay or is he old Klay? What form of Klay will we have? Well, bro was going off left foot. He was going off the right foot. He even dunked in a crowd. His shot, he'll probably be able to shoot his shot, which is a 3-point specialist. He'll probably be able to shoot his shot in his 70s and 80s from his wheelchair, from his hospital bed. But it was the physical movements, right, left, cutting. I saw no limitations, and they got him on a minutes restriction, but I saw no limitations. So to the training staff for the Golden State Warriors, to you, Klay, wow, great job. And I know you have to take it easy, and it's for your preservation of this season as well as your career going forward. They want to preserve you. They want to keep you around. They want to keep you healthy. So it's not so much now. You got to build up that stamina, which is that court, that NBA play, and there's no duplication or replication of that. You have to actually be in the game to get those minutes, those reps, and the speed of the game, which is a lot different than training and simulations or even the G League, which you went down to. I'm admiring that too, that you humbled yourself and you actually did go to the G League. And so good for you, Klay. It's good to have you back. The Warriors, as well as the NBA, are better with you. So cool. Now that we're in the NBA, I talked last week about the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not a Memphis Grizzly fan per se, but what I am is a fan of surprises, and they have surprised me. They're on a nice 11-game win streak. They're beating up on everybody. They're taking names, okay? They are that good. Ja Morant has put his name in the MVP running. Not only that, they're winning as a team. They're playing as a team. Even though Ja Morant is the superstar, their composition of the team is solid. Okay. Jaren Jackson, inside, outside. Their center has been, his name's Adams. The center's been ill, injured, or COVID. I don't know what it is, but he's been on injured reserve. So your boy Jaren Jackson had to go from the 4 to the 5. You say normally that's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal because you're not used to that banging and that expectations, which is boards, lobs, block shots, make a defensive presence. And so Jaren Jackson has done all that. Well, how do I know? Hey, that's what he did against my Lakers. Had about 4, maybe 5 block shots, took his man outside, took his man inside. He could and he was showing off. Ja Morant, nice. And they're doing this without, I think, one of their other great players is Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is twisted his ankle in the Laker game, so he'll probably be out 3 to 4 weeks. I pray it's not longer than that, because with them, he's like the Draymond Greens. He's a glue guy, and he usually guards the best player on the opposing team. So are they making noise? Yes. Have they got my attention? Yes. They should have every NBA fan, sports fans' attention, because they came out of nowhere and are showing up and showing out. If you remember last year, I think they were in the play-in game, and they lost the play-in game, but it made them probably more hungry in my guesstimation. So awesome for them. Speaking of the NBA, we talked about the Warriors. Steph, you got the 3-point record, but what's wrong with the Warriors? Everybody's asking, what's wrong with the Warriors? In my humble opinion, and I've seen enough Warrior games, and I'm not talking about just this year. I'm talking about in years past, even before they were. I'm talking about Mark Jackson Warriors before they were winning championships. Draymond Green, he's the problem. He's been injured. He's not been in the lineup, and so with Draymond Green, you'll see a crisper offense. Everybody in place. He puts everybody in place. And he's a smart passer. He's a very efficient guy. He's also the guy that's going to set the picks. He's going to free up Curry off the pick, pull up Trey from the logo, wherever. That's what Curry can do. But Draymond, let's not forget, he's the reason why they do so well on defense. I think the Warriors at a point in time, if not even now, we're leading the league in defense. They're known for the offense, but they're leading the league in defense, and it's because of Draymond. Usually giving them one shot, board, and go. Or he's guarding the 5, he's guarding the 4. He can guard any position. Draymond can do that. So in my humble opinion, and that's what we do on this show, we offer an opinion, not an expert. Just offer an opinion. It's because of Draymond. Without Draymond, they're going to suffer these losses. They're going to still be able to put up relative good numbers, as far as shooting, as far as putting it in the hole. But because Draymond is not there, they're not going to get those free and easy and open shots. Andrew Wiggins, I expect you to be an all-star this year. You look like you're playing free. So keep doing that. You were the number 1 pick years back in the NBA. You went to Minnesota. You were drafted by Cleveland, went to Minnesota. And now you're with the Warriors, where the only thing they're concerned about is winning. They don't care who gets the numbers. They don't care who gets the shots. And this is your second year with the Warriors, and you're looking freer. I love what I see from you. Your 3-point shot it's wet, and keep doing what you're doing. And you're even playing a little bit of defense. So you have bought into the system. The Warrior system does work, and it's a plug and play, but it's more complicated than that. It's a plug play, but you also have to understand where everybody is in that movement. It's a constant movement. I was watching the NBA TV not too long ago, and Isaiah Thomas, he brought up, he talked about the Golden State Warriors, and he made a point of this is not the first time that this type of movement was going on, nor is it the first time that we saw a team, and it seemed like everybody can score from any position. He brought up the Denver Nuggets back in Dan Issel's day, Alex English, and Kiki Vandeweghe, and he made me think, wow, he's so right. Dan Issel was like one of the first 5s that played the floor that could stretch the floor, was shooting 3s, and he was dunking on you. Okay, back in the ABA days, and I was glad that Isaiah, that you brought that to my attention. So it's a reinvention of the wheel. But Golden State has brought Denver never won a championship with it, but Golden State is able to. It's always in that championship talk as long as they've been healthy. And Clay is back. So the rich got richer with Clay coming back. Draymond needs to get back, but he needs to get well. We're at the halfway point And right now, if I had to choose two teams, and I can't pick one, and it's not going to be my Lakers. Matter of fact, the Lakers don't deserve mentioning, and I will because that's my team. But if I pick two teams, it'll be Golden State and Memphis right now. I know the Suns are looking great in the West. I know the Jazz are solid in the West, but the Jazz tends to let you down. You know, you're left at the altar every time with the Jazz. But Golden State, even as bad as they have been in the last couple of weeks, I still pick them to finish strong and or to represent in the West. Right now, Golden State or Memphis. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. I got caught driving the car, and so I got to pull over, and we're going to be joined when we come back with Dr. Vic Herman in just a few minutes.
Wake up, El Paso. So, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you wanted to become a hairdresser.
Until I had my daughter, when I was like, I need to really learn about hair. I have this little curl now, and I have to do her hair. So that's when I really started getting deep into hair and wanting to learn more.
All right. Well, as you can see on your screen, I'm joined by my co-host, Dr. Victor Herman. We missed you, brother. I was driving the car. They pulled me over. They made me stop. Okay. Otherwise, I'd still be going boogity boogity. What say you, nephew?
Bruh, I'm glad you're driving that car. Out here in D.C., I'm in a snowmobile. Look, y'all saw what happened with that weather last week. I'm a Cali dude. I ain't used to all this stuff. I just finished. I just finished with my shovel, my snowblower, and snowmobile going up and down my street. So I'm sorry I missed that first segment, but bruh has been in the trenches. But I'm here, baby. It's Happy New Year to everybody. Yes, the East Coast got smashed with some weather not known to mankind. I ain't talking about the full East Coast. Look, I'm in D.C., Virginia area. We don't get snow like that. So it was a great New Year. But it's a lot of snow, or you're in a corona pandemic environment where my daughter, who's in 8th grade, is complaining that she can't go back to school. I said, look, back in the day, snow days, y'all would be counting down. She said, that was before coronavirus, where we spent 18 months in the house. I'm tired of being in the house. So I just finished again, getting out that snow case, castle, and everything else I had in my front yard. So thanks, everybody. It's great to be back. We've missed you all. Hope that you had a great holiday season. Welcome to 2022. Look, it's about the year expectations. What do you have ready? Let's do this. It's a great time in sports where you got the football, NFL postseason happening. Basketball is in the second half of it. It's just about, and it's just a great time. So let's do this.
All right. Well, I want to know Baltimore Ravens. We know they didn't make the playoffs, but man, kudos. They tried. They were in it until the last game. So we don't really have to reflect, but I know that's your team. I had to mention them. But I got a few games I want you to pick them. So we got the Raiders and Bengals as our first game. What's your team? Give me your analysis there. Raiders on the road to Bengals.
When I first heard about this game and I saw it, what it brought memories back? Bo Jackson. I believe it was a playoff game when they played the Cincinnati Bengals, and he had that freak accident. So when I saw that on the line, I was like, whoa, man, imagine that. Here we go. This is the first time I think they played in the playoffs since then. So without me going down nostalgic road, I will tell you what, I am an AFC North ride or die. And what those Bengals did to my boys this year, yes, no excuses. My boys you play with the team you have on the field. But they ran through my boys like Charmin tissue. I pick the Bengals. Why? Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Mixon. The defense is crazy, but the offense is elite. And look what Joe Burrow did his second year in the league. How long did it take Carr to make it to the playoffs? Now, I give kudos to the Raiders for even making it to the playoffs, considering the challenges they had this year as a team. But what Joe Burrow has done, and remember, he didn't get to finish last year. He was injured. I expect them to do some damage. Because if the Raiders don't know how to finish a game in regulation, a game to take you to the playoffs, how do you think they're going to compete with the hungry Bengals in the jungle in Cincinnati? They ain't going to do it. So Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're going to run through them boys something nasty. So I hope it's at least competitive enough to say, well, it was a playoff game, but I'm glad it's an early playoff game on Saturday and not the last one, because I'd hate to go to bed with that on my mind.
I got you. I picked the Bengals as well. Patriots and Bills. Patriots on the road.
Woo-hoo. Hey, woo-hoo. Only because it's the third time these guys have played in 6 weeks. I'm not picking against the hood. Not going against Bill Belichick, because he lives to play this game. He lives to play this game. And I told you early in the season, my money's on Bill. He wants that division. And to know they didn't get to win the division and how they lost the division, he's coming to Buffalo and he's going to rip their throat out. He's going to take their heart out, a la Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and show them that beating heart. I cannot see him going to Buffalo and losing to the little brother. He can't do it. He's got to stay face, particularly if he knows that Tom Brady and them have a chance. He cannot go 2 years and not follow through, at least make it to the second round of the playoffs this year. I called it New England Patriots in a good game. New England Patriots.
Mark the tape. Mark the tape. This is where you and I disagree. I picked all home games, but I see you, and you said it with your chest. I love that. You said it proud and loud. I'm with you. Okay. I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to ask right now. Do you want to change your pick? You going to stick with it? What's he going to do?
Bill Belichick. The only thing I'm missing now is putting a point spread on it. All chess, baby. Chess day. Bill Belichick, New England Patriots.
Okay. Next game. Eagles on the road to the Bucks.
Buccaneers. I'm not betting against Tom Brady. I learned my lesson. 20 years watching them boys play. I'm not betting against Tom Brady. The Eagles make it this far, and I think they have a lot of promise, but I think they barely made it into the playoffs themselves. But it's good. I hope that they really commit to Jalen Hurts and see what he can do next couple of years, but not against Tom Brady. Nah.
Yeah. Here's my game, must-see game, 49ers and Cowboys. I picked the Cowboys this time around. What say you, sir?
I started thinking of the old days, the Cowboys and the Niners. You start thinking about Joe Montana and the early 80s games. Then you're talking about Steve Young, Terrell Owens, those games with Troy Aikman and even Haley, who could play for the Niners, and he plays for the Cowboys. Deion said, I mean, there's so many storylines in history that's tied these two teams together. I am going to go with the Niners. It's a risky bet. Which Jimmy G shows up? You can say that just about which Dallas Cowboys team shows up. I'm picking the Niners because I'm picking Kyle Shanahan. I'm going against the coaches match. I still don't trust Mike McCarthy. I think sometimes he won just because he had a better talented team. But Kyle Shanahan and that cat Deebo Samuel, so it's going to be a good one. It's not going to be a blowout. When I look at Dallas's defense, Diggs, Micah Parsons, I mean, they got some jokers. And then you look at the Niners on offense, Deebo Samuel, Greg Kills. They have that. Nick Bosa on the defense. It'll be a good match. I don't want that to be a blowout. I want a great four-quarter game. Again, I think it comes down to, at least for the Niners, which Jimmy G does show up, and then which Mike McCarthy shows up for the Cowboys. but I'm picking the Niners.
I love your analysis. Why? Because your analysis is similar to mine. I picked the Cowboys, but you emphasize the coach differentiation, McCarthy versus Shanahan, and I brought that up. It's as though you were listening to me earlier, but it's we're like-minded, and you know what they say about like-minded folks. So agree. However, because maybe it's because I'm drinking the Cowboy Kool-Aid, I'm in Cowboy Nation. Maybe I want to believe in Dak. I want them to get over the top. And I think their offense and defense and the composition of their team was a little bit more consistent than the 49ers. That doesn't mean much. I picked the Cowboys. We got sports, sir. 2 more picking games. Steelers and Kansas City. We got the Cardinals and Rams. So I'll wrap those 2 together, let you hear your thoughts as our time is getting away from us.
I am an AFC North aficionado. I do respect the Steelers. There was a special bond between the Ravens and the Steelers. Look, Steelers limped into the playoffs. They limped. Kansas City Chiefs, they jumped. Big Ben is done. He's no longer Big Ben. He's just that dude. It's great because I like Mike Tomlin. I like the culture he's built out there, and he has not had a. That's it. I mean, Ben barely make passes the last couple of weeks. So minus having a healthy Ravens team, Pittsburgh would not have made it to the playoffs. Kansas City is peaking at the right time. They're peaking at the right time, and they're starting a lot more confidence even on the defensive side. So I definitely pick Kansas City Chiefs and Mahomes. This is the time they play. They play their season. Them 17 games, them 17 weeks is for the postseason, and they deserve to be here. They want to be here. They want the moment. I'm picking Kansas City to take this one. You saying Rams?
The last one, the Cardinals. Cardinals on the road, yes, and they split the season.
You're gonna almost split this take because you don't know which one of those teams are going to show up. There's no. The Rams had a chance last week to close the deal, and you up by 17 points against the San Francisco Niners, a division rival, and you can't close the deal.
Yeah,
you can't close the deal. And let's think about 2 weeks earlier, they had a chance to do something against a depleted Baltimore Ravens team and barely won that game. The Rams are not as good as they appear to be on paper. The challenge is they're playing against the Cardinals, who I still don't know who they are right now. The Rams have the talent. They have the names. I'm going to go for the Cardinals. I'm going with the Cardinals. Only because I believe their body of work. It's a risky one. Their body of work for the season was solid until Kyler Murray got hurt. Kyler Murray got hurt against that game against Green Bay. The next couple of games after that, they were hurting. One, because of him. 2, I think their ego got bruised because they did lose. They were 10-0. So I'm going way out on a limb here. But they're division rivals, so those games could go either or. So I'm going with the Cardinals on a very risky pick, only because I think the last 2 weeks for the Rams has been kind of suspect.
Okay, and that's I can see that. I don't know if Hopkins is back. If Hopkins is back, Cardinals could easily win this because your boy, the Rams, both teams have been Jekyll and Hyde all year. So it's hard to say. I chose the Rams in this one. This is another game that you and I differ on. And then, I'll see next week between you and I, who can curl the loudest. All right. And you fans, I hit it up on Facebook. I put this out there. I wanted to know your picks. Please share with us on Facebook your picks. Hit us up on Twitter. We are grateful for our loyal fans. We're thankful for you. If this is your first time, this is what we do. We just rap. We just have fun. My closing remarks, all of those firing in the NFL of coaches, all of those firings, it's time that we get a man of color in one of these positions. I'm not saying just because of the Rooney Rule. I know there are qualified coaches out there. I want a man of color in a position to be the CEO on the sideline for one of these NFL teams. That's my closing remarks. And I'll see you next week.
Great closing remark. I had to add caveat on that. The NFL owes us something this year as a fan. The NFL owes us something as an institution because two big, lack of a better term, civil rights issues. The John Gruden, what was that all about with email? And then what's been happening with the Washington football team for the last decade. So it'd be great for the NFL to get a quick win, not because they just need to check the block and tell fans that let's hire a color, but let's really see where you're really at. Let's see where you're really putting your money as well as your institutional professionalism at, because 7, 8 firings, justified or not, that's not even an issue. It's who do you – then one more thing, Urban Meyer, didn't he finish the whole season? So you telling me you're going to put your stake on a toxic leader of Urban Meyer. You had the issue with John Gruden. You had the issues with the Washington football team franchise. You have some other internal issues with coaches. And you're telling me that there's not one coach that's available. 2 years ago, Eric Bieniemy have the name anymore. We still have Leslie Frazier out there that I hope gets an opportunity. Right. We still got Raheem Moore. So those are 3 off the top of my head that only had one head coaching opportunity over the last 10 years. So NFL, you owe us something. I love to see how the offseason operates. Yep. I like to see what teams give coaches some opportunities to succeed or even fail, because you can't do any worse than Urban Meyer. Didn't he finish the season? So let's do right, NFL. Let's see what you got.
All right. Well said, sir. You guys mask up. Keep socially distanced. Sanitize. Wash your hands. Omicron is here. It bears repeating. We will keep repeating it. And if you're safe, great. Be safe for others. We'll see you next week. Take it to the house and we're out.
Hey, see you all next week. Let's go, fans. What you got? Let's still record up against ours. Hey, we said we're not in a prognostication. We just pick them. So we're ready to air it next week. How well we all did in this thing. We all in this thing together. But let's enjoy a wonderful weekend of playoff football. We're talking about Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Wifey already knows, don't even talk to me this weekend. She will see me on Tuesday. And so enjoy this time. Please be safe. As stated, mask up. Just protect your families, protect yourself, protect your neighbor. Love you all. See you in cyberspace. Enjoy this weekend. Take it to the house. We're out.